everybody muted?
Doesn't mute.
I muted you, Diana. You're good. Okay. Can you hear the harmonium okay? Yes, thanks, Sylvia. Narayanam namaskritya Narayanam namaskritya Naram chaiva narottamam Naram chaiva narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiraye Tato Jayam Udiraye Hey.
Thank you, Francis. Hi, Sky. And Lulu, I think, just arrived. Did you change your sound, Francis?
I did. Thank you for the reminder.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So we can get right into where we left off. And I re-listened to last class, and I realized something about this section. But basically, we had this one word left to look up. But maybe, yeah, actually, let's look up this last word, and then we can go back to this section afterwards, because we just had the one word left. So last call, we started by looking it up in our Goldman text. See if we could find the word there. To go back. This is dhiras, aspirated dha. If any of you find it before me, let me know. Doesn't seem to be in our glossary. I have dhi, just thought, and then it goes to dha, just bear, process, assume. So I don't see a dhiras anywhere in here in the glossary. So we practiced looking up words in, on, or online. Can you see the dictionary right now? Oh, sorry, I can't hear you, Jim, because you're muted.
Yes,
Yeah?
yes.
Okay, perfect. So let's see. I'm gonna do my Devanagari keyboard and look up dhira, and I guess we'll leave it at prefix and search. So we have a dhira here. We also have a dhiram, but dhira could be masculine or feminine or neuter, right? Be an E or an A. Intelligent, wise, skillful, clever. Yeah. So that we can fill our little table in with that for now. Dhira, and it's got a S ending, but It could also have been a visarga perhaps, and then it says asa because of the ta, it precedes the ta. We could leave it as dhira for now, and we don't know. We could say we don't know what gender it is as of yet. What was it again? It was intelligent, wise. Oop, I need to go back to my regular keyboard. Right? So we have intelligent, wise. We don't know what it's qualifying yet. And then the rest of these words, maybe a quick,
Well, on page
yeah,
456 of the first edition of Monair Williams, it has dira and it has as, long A and am, but I don't know it comes from dre, dhr.
yeah.
Yeah.
The root comes from the. Hang on, let's go back.
Durable, steady, holding firm, steadfast.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't
So are
know
you
what
looking?
those, pardon me.
Which one are you looking at?
I'm looking, I found it in this first edition Monier Williams, page 456, column 2, but I don't know what
Okay.
edition you're in.
Well, I'm looking at the online and it says printed page 517. So I'm in a
Uh,
different area. So it's good. It's
yeah.
great that you looked it up in the physical text. And what is it? Do you had wise as well in there? Wise and skillful?
Yes, I mean, eventually it comes down to resolute, persevering, persistent, strong, has a collection of adjectives here, all in the same thing. But I don't understand in the parentheses some of the abbreviations from the dictionary. So I don't see anything that would help what it is, how we got to this from the root.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay. So for
but
now,
yeah,
yeah, for now, for just like a placeholder in terms of meaning, we have, yeah, wise, skillful, or steady, these kind
uh-huh,
courageous,
right.
these kinds of adjectives. So we'll go back and just see what the words. Actually, let's go back to this because last week I was saying how these are two ahs meeting and they don't sandhi, but I was actually incorrect because I was looking at the padani that I when I broke them out into sections. But in the actual verse, they are together. It is dehantara praptir. So this is a samasa, this word. It's grouped together. At the very least, the dehantara is. So we could let's like put an extra row here for the full word to see how the words relate to each other. Because I had thought that they were separate, but in actuality, they are together.
And then when you finish that exposition, I have a question about that compound.
About the compound, sure.
Yeah.
So we looked up deha, and it's in here previously as well, dehe, and it was body,
Uh-huh.
masculine. So we know that. I had said it was sambodhana, but now that it's we had like hypothesized that it might be sambodhana because it didn't have an ending. But of course, it won't have an ending when it's in samasa, right? The first members of the samasa will have their root form. So that'll be
Right.
normal that it just won't have an ending to it. And then it actually blends with antara, dehantara. We have that here. So this is a 3.3, just like within the samasa, they blend those two vowels to become a long vowel, and that's a 3.3 sandhi rule. And then when we looked up antaram, we had picked interior, inside. I think that was what we found in Goldman. But when you look it up online, if we look at the Monier-Williams dictionary for antara, we also have antara. This is antara. Oh, here. antara. Being in the interior, proximate, related, intimate, exterior. Okay, it all has interior. Oh, then here it has different, other, or another as an alternate definition as well. I peeked ahead at the translation, so this is actually what is used in that translation. So just so we know that it can also mean, I'll put that in our chart, could mean different, other, or another as well. That's another meaning for antara. So different, oop, again, to go back. Other or another. Because it could be inside, interior, the body, or it could be another body. In this particular verse, it's another body rather than inside the body. And then similarly, prapti, we looked up and we had advent, occurrence, but there are also other definitions for this, alternate definitions for this word in Monier-Williams. So, Devanagari, prapti, oops, what's the word? Oh, it's a long that's why. Prapti. And we had advent, occurrence is what we use, but then there's also attaining, obtaining, or acquisition as another possible definition. So
No, I was wondering about the R ending.
yes. Hang on, I'll just put attaining, obtaining, and I said acquisition as well. Yes. So that's your question, Jim?
Well, but why does the R ending? Was that
Yeah,
a
we
Sunday
looked.
from S, or I didn't understand.
Yeah, we looked it up last time, and it's Sunday 3.29b.
Okay. Okay.
We can go look at that. Let me just open up my Devavani, my online Devavani Praveshika. It is one of the Sundays, 329b. Here we go. I have to zoom. Oh, over here. And share. There we go. You see this?
Final S, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, a final S
Yeah.
before any voiced initial, any vowel or any voiced consonant becomes r.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
This is following any vowel but a or ah. Right, so that's good to note because here it's following the vowel I, right?
Mm-hmm.
If it had been there would have been other rules at play here, but because it's a
Right.
vowel other than and then the following consonant is voiced, then the sa became a r in this case. So it's a Sunday rule, 329b. Yeah. And so we have this, essentially this compound word, asamasa, right? So another body, or obtaining, acquiring another body. Yeah. Do we all see that? Obviously, if we had used our initial hypothesized definitions, it would be the occurrence inside the body. But maybe when we look at all the words together, it'll give us a little bit more context. But when I looked ahead at the translation, it is obtaining or attaining another body is the definition or translation rather that they used for this compound word. Yeah. Do we have a sense? I know samasas were a long time ago, but what kind of I know what kind of samasa it might be. Maybe that's something we could, unless anybody has some initial thoughts, we can put a pin in it for now, but we could recognize that this is a compound word. Yeah. Anybody have anything they want to add? No. Okay. So I think we can go back to the top because we looked up each of the words, but then we didn't say, okay, and we looked up the case and the gender. So we could put how it might appear in the sentence. If we have the first word as dehi no, and it comes from dehin, embodied, and it's in shashti vibhakti. And shashti, how would you translate that if it's sixth case? A sixth case is a genitive or a possessive. So it would be of, presumably, the embodied. Is that good? We're just going through each word to figure out how it might line up in a sentence. Does this look good? Of the embodied. And then we have this or that, but it's in saptami, which is locative. So that would be
In, on.
in or
Something
on. So in
yeah.
or on this or that. Great. Yata is just in this, just as, or in this. So we'll put just as. It's indeclinable. And then here we have another saptami vibhakti with the word body. So again, in, on the body. Yeah. And then we have pratama, first case. So we just be straight childhood. Then again, another pratama, adolescence. Another pratama vibhakti, and we have old age. So these are pretty straightforward, just their subjects. Childhood, adolescence, old age. And we have in that way. And then this, we figured out, is a compound word meaning obtaining another body. And we put these three together. Dehantara praptir. Intelligent, wise. I'm not sure what intelligent, wise, or could just be like an abstract, like the intelligent or wise one, right? So we'll just put intelligent and wise here for now. We can see at the very least, we don't know if it's masculine, feminine, or neuter, but we can see at the very least that it's not plural. At least I don't believe so by its ending.
I'm looking up on your Williams on
Yes.
page 456. It says the root is dr, but also could be the root da, and it means steady, holding firmly, steadfast, enduring, durable, lasting.
Okay, so we could also, we're not sure, it could also potentially mean steady or enduring or lasting.
Which kind of then fits with, you know, you endure despite having a new body or from youth through old age.
Oh, okay. Yes, okay. This is, yeah, this sounds good, like a possible, all right. I like it. Let's also, yeah, let's put that here. When we put, we'll just kind of put the words together at the end and see what makes most sense in context. I like that. Great. There, that, concerning that. Again, this is indeclinable. So just put this, and this is a not. It's kind of a straightforward not. And then we have be confused, bewildered. So we can put be confused for now. It's the third third person, singular. Yeah. Okay. So if we were to just sort of smush that all together and then go, does anyone have any other things they want to add? Ooh, there's something in the chat. What do we have in the chat?
That's just the link to what I was talking about.
Oh, perfect. Thanks, Lulu. Great. So if we were just to put it, and we know at least this from studying enough Sanskrit, that the word order isn't necessarily going to be the same as the translation order, but at least we can get a sense of all of the words together and kind of figure out how they may relate. So we have of the embodied in this, just as in the body. Childhood, adolescence, old age. Maybe I don't want to do this for now so that we can fit it all. So yeah, jara. Okay, it ends in old age there. We can see this is deho, smin, tata, dehe, kaumaram, yauvanam, jara. So these are all those words in that first section. So of the embodied in this, just as in the body, childhood, adolescence, old age. And then we have in that way, obtaining another body.
I would say in the same way. I think
In the same way.
it might make more sense for what it's saying.
Great. In the same way, obtaining another body, and then we have, yeah, either intelligent, wise, or steady, enduring. Let's go with Luli's for now. Let's do steady, enduring, and then we have not, concerning that, not be confused. Of the embodied in this, just as in the body, childhood, adolescence. So not sure where of the embodied comes in, but I think we could see just as in the body, childhood, adolescence, old age. In the same way, blah, 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 you know, how those two sentences are relating to each other. We could see that, right? It's our relative, correlative sort of sentence construction. Yeah, I'm not sure where the of the embodied, if it's just like a general, like those who are embodied, of those who are embodied.
I think it's talking about physical, the physical body, stula sharira, and subtle body. I think they're talking about this the difference. So, you know, not in the in the same way that the physical body ages, as the physical body ages, in the same way, it's talking about the subtle body. The subtle body also changes, enduring, concerning that. I'm not sure about. In the same way that, yeah.
It's saying in the same way, so it's definitely comparing it to something. And this is the thing about looking at verses in isolation, right? Because we're not looking at what was said before. So, or several verses before. It might be setting something up and now all of a sudden it's telling us this thing. So it's like, just as this, we're like, just as this what? Like, we don't know what came prior, right? But these are good. This is good. So this is us just kind of in the blind, kind of trying to make an assessment from just the words that we have on the page. Okay, so that's good, though these are good. And this is because Lulu is also bringing prior knowledge to to her understanding of the verse, right? So if this was somebody that knew nothing, they wouldn't necessarily know that, but they would get a sense that there is talk about having a body and moving through the stages of life, and then obtaining another body. So dealing also with reincarnation or re-embodiment. Yeah. In the same way, obtaining another. Yeah.
I was going to ask if we could read the previous one exactly for
Sure.
all the reasons you're saying.
Great. Let's do that. Let me see if it's on our thing, if it's on a previous page. But anyways, from this, we'll definitely look at what.
Do you want me to read the translation of number 12 from Sargent?
Oh yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Jim. That'd be great.
Truly, there never was a time when I was not, nor you, nor these lords of men, and neither will there be a time when we shall cease to be from this time onward.
I don't think it helps much.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I think unless anybody, I think this is.
It does help. I think it does help. But now I kind of. So I had completely forgotten about these. It took me forever to get into it again. Yeah, so it does make sense because it's just as you mentioned, it's just the migrating of the soul, just as it passes through different stages in life, then it gains another body, and then so it is referring to what is said in the previous verse, and then tatra diraha na muhyati, about that the wise doesn't grieve.
Yeah, well, the complete setup starts with 11, where the blessed Lord spoke, "You have mourned those that should not be mourned, and you speak words as if with wisdom. The wise do not mourn for the dead or for the living." Then it goes to that next verse, and then so yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
so we need to go
definitely.
two verses back.
Putting it back into context, it kind of makes sense. Yes,
Yeah.
It taken on its own is a bit ooh.
Yes.
Yeah, it's hard.
So diras
tell.
would refer more to the meaning of wise and not steadfast.
Steady. Yeah. But this is great.
Yeah,
See, this is good for us to just see how context is really important for us to understand, because as we also have learned through our Sanskrit studies, words can mean many different things depending on what the context they're in. So it could have easily been obtaining inside the body, who knows what context that would be, but we realized that it's talking about transitioning through the stages of life, and then obtaining a new body or reincarnation, and then how the translation for dhiras might be wise instead of steady or steadfast. Did you want to add something else, Paulo? I cut you off, I think.
No, not really. I'm struggling a little bit.
Yeah, I thought that at this point, if it's okay with you, we could look at the actual translation in Sargent and then see how it lines up, or where the disconnects might be. Yeah, for us pretending to be really beginner approaching a verse. So he has here, just as in the body, childhood, adulthood, and old age happen to unembodied being, so also he, the embodied being, acquires another body. The wise one is not deluded about this. Yeah, so it started with the just as section of the sentence, even though that was kind of middle. Just as in the body, childhood, adulthood, and old age. That was pretty clear. happen to an embodied being. Now we had it in Shashti, and it is indeed in Shashti up here. It's in genitive, so it is sixth case. But I would think of Shashti more as of and possessive. But here it's happens to an embodied being, so it feels almost accusative in the translation. Yeah or no? I don't know. Then people can offer up their thoughts about that. Or, I mean, if you really wanted to try to make it, but maybe that makes sense in terms of how to translate it the best way of what they're trying to communicate. But if we were to try to be really faithful to what a possessive sounds like, it would be of an embodied being, which kind of feels strange in this translation, right? But again, like,
Well, I
when
think
you
this, excuse me, but this is sort of the art of translation, right? Because
exactly.
the I can't remember the fellow's name, but the one who we get the verse of the day, his translation is just as the embodied soul continuously passes from childhood to youth to old age. Similarly, at the time of death, the soul passes into another body. The wise are not deluded by this. So it gets sort of where people can make up sort of what they want to say.
A little bit. So this is, and this is, like you said, this is kind of the art of translation, because there is a little bit of wiggle room for things. And just like certain expressions are said in different ways in Sanskrit, right? We learned that expressions of love are in the locative, and you wouldn't say in English, you would say with, if you're in love with somebody. So just to show that even though we can find case, and then we can kind of more or less figure out how the words relate to each other, that when you go to actually find a translation that makes more sense, it might not be direct. That's like a one-on-one direct application of what the cases are, was the point that I was trying to make with that. So even though, you know, it's of old age in this case, it's like it happens to, of an embodied being. Here he says it happens to an embodied being, in terms of just making it make sense when we're translating it into English.
Right.
So do we want to, maybe we can look, sorry, is that okay? Did you have something else to add?
There isn't really a finite verb for that bit of the sentence. So it would be, you know, this is quite free, happen to an embodied being. Is it? Am I going completely insane, or is it?
No,
There is
I
no
think,
verb. There is no verb. So it is the
yeah.
usual genitive, possessive. To me, makes sense because I kind of got used to this construction where instead of having to have, you actually have
Okay.
no to be, because it's elided, and you just have the genitive. So the embodied being possesses these different states, but also will
I
have
see what
another
you mean.
body. You
Great.
know what
This
I
is
mean?
great, Paolo. Yes. So instead of translating it as happen to an embodied being, you're saying an embodied being has a body.
Yeah, it's a bit
that,
far-fetched
yes.
happen to.
No, that's great.
Yeah.
I like it. That works. That works in terms of the more
It's more
straightforward.
direct.
Exactly. Because that's the thing, you could have a really like literal translation, which is what we're doing right now by saying it in that way, versus making it more of a commentary so that the translation sounds smoother in our language, is the thing. So you were saying just as the embodied has a body, yeah. Has a body that goes through, I don't know, how did he say it in his? He
Or
said,
even
just as,
indweller. I found a translation that uses indweller of the body, which kind of makes it easier to understand the whole concept of passing from one state to the other. And
Yeah. Well, just sorry. How would you how did you say it, Paulo?
the indweller of the body,
Yeah.
basically the
How could
soul,
yeah? How could
has
we has okay.
who goes through childhood,
Yeah. Childhood, adolescence, and old age. Right? Something like this.
I mean, it's still pretty free, but anyway.
Yeah. Well, we could see how we're all trying to kind of make it make sense with our words as much as we can. Just in the same way.
Belongs,
And then
you could also put it to the other way around, belongs to. Sometimes it
belongs.
works. You know, childhood, the different states belongs to an embodied being.
Just as okay. Just as childhood, adolescence, old age belong to an embodied being. You could say it that way.
I don't know. I mean, there are many ways, but
there are many ways. Yeah. But this is good.
It never is quite adherent. You know, it doesn't quite adhere to the original because it's quite, elliptical.
But we could all see kind of, we can all get a sense of what they're saying is an embodied being has a body, goes through childhood, adolescence, and old age. That much we can agree on.
Might as well get another body.
Right. And then in this, so just as the body is going to go through so in that way that we could be sure of the body aging, let's say, in the same way, right? In the same way, we know that we'll obtain another body. How would anybody else have any sense of how we might say the second part? What did Sargent say? So also the embodied being, he put in parentheses because it's like implied. So also he acquires another body.
Acquires, gains.
Here, we'll do this. Or obtains.
So the wise person shouldn't be confused that we acquire another body, because it's just like going through what our bodies are, just like going through the aging process.
So so the last part would be the wise. It's kind of a general, the wise one, or is it, did he have it as plural or singular? He put the wise one. Yeah. So the wise one. So the dhiras is an adjective, but it isn't, it's referring to a general entity. It's not like a specific person in the phrase. It's just saying the wise, I guess, in parenthesis, one, the wise person. Yeah. Is not confused, basically. If we were just doing it, you know, again, a straight literal translation. So of all of this, the wise person is not confused. The wise person knows that just as adulthood, childhood, adolescence, and old age happens to an embodied being, the embodied being will also acquire another body. What about a wise person? It could be a wise, a wise one. There's no, either one. There's no specific, what's the word I'm looking for? There's no specific word here to say if it's the or a. Yeah, so it could be a wise one. Of this, a wise one is not confused. Yeah. How was this? Was this help? Well, actually, before we go, I kind of cap off and then we talk to each other. Let's look at so we were saying it was a samasa, but we didn't say which one. And to be honest, it's been a while since I've done studied samasa or reviewed samasa. So we could look at what kind of samasa it is according to Sargent. He calls this samasa dehantara praptis a Tatpurusha compound, obtaining another body. So a Tatpurusha, but then I would wonder what case it would be, right? A Tatpurusha usually
Yes,
has a
it would
case.
Yeah, it
it
would
would
usually be
be
Paul.
Sorry,
a Dvitiya Tatpurusha,
Twitu. Obtaining what?
because you
Another
have
body, yeah.
the last element is a kta,
Mhm.
so which is a nominalized form of a verb, and therefore it's one of the few cases where you actually have a Dvitiya Tatpurusha.
Yeah, because it's
Mhm.
definitely not third. It's not an instrument. It's not a possessive.
Well, it
Yeah,
is in a sense a possessive,
in a
but it's
sense.
expressed via a kta, which
Yeah.
has a an active meaning. So
Yeah. Well, and we know it's not a karmatadaya because it's not adjective noun
adjective, yeah,
and it's not noun apposition. It's not two nouns
yeah.
that just mean or equating to each other. So at the very least, we know it is a tatpurusha, and then yeah, figuring out what case it is.
Actually,
But
is it? I'm not quite sure that what I said is right, but anyway, it is a some kind of verb.
it's some kind of tatpurusha.
No, but
But
I
it's
mean
good.
the verb is probably not a kta, but I don't remember.
You mean, oh, you're talking about its formation?
Yes, prapti, the
Mhm.
last bit, which is the element
Yeah, because
the
I think
kind of
it's from
deciding
prap.
element.
Yeah, prap,
So
and
it is
then
probably a kta.
yeah, T might be a kata. So if
Yeah,
this is, in case people are not sure, so what Paolo's referring to is the word formation when things get tacked on to the end of a root to make it now some sort of a noun. And so he's saying maybe the T is tacked onto the root verb, prap, making it
yeah,
some form of a
yeah.
noun. So yeah, these are in later chapters. But this is good, I think. Sorry, somebody was
Why
saying
was
something.
Shashti Tatpurusha ruled out? Because isn't it like attainment of another body?
Yeah,
I think that is a verbal nominative of some sort, the ta, and there's some rule about those verbal nominatives ending those top rushes. So it's not obtainment, it's obtaining or a gerund or something. I don't remember, but vague memory of that.
It is
But if
he who obtains.
Prapti,
of another
isn't it
body.
a past participle?
is
Yeah,
it a
Yeah.
past
Or
participle?
That's what
up?
we are
It
talking
could be,
about. The
yeah,
same
because
thing.
pra,
Yes.
this is true. Yeah, pra is a prefix, upasarga, and then obtain, I think. Yeah, that's correct, is the dhatu. And then the T, yeah, I think that could be some kind of participle. So yeah, that would be a word that would require deeper
Yeah, because
investigation,
it's
which we
irregular.
can,
It's one of those irregular ones,
yeah.
so you don't see the T
So we could look at
on
it
back of the
if
T. You don't see
that's,
the
oh
K.
no.
No, whatever. I can't remember.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah. No. Yeah, because, well, you were talking about gerund right now, I think, maybe.
I think a PPP or something. I'm not
now,
sure.
but
Yeah.
I know that I've come across
That is a
this time and again.
participle, PPP.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
participle.
yeah.
Listen something. Isn't the name for the Tatpurusha Upapada?
Upapada, because an upapada would be a shortened verb or something like this. No, isn't that
That's
when it's
why.
like a more contracted verb?
No, not about
Um,
contraction, but the ending of the compound is a root or something belonging
yeah,
to
I
a
thought it was
root.
like, a shortened version of a verb. I thought that's what a upapada was. Is
Yeah,
that
it's
not
like a
I
correct?
have to look
reduced
it up.
A reduced, yeah, it's
ending.
reduced ending. Yeah. Okay, well, we have 15 minutes left to chat, or 10-ish at this point, because we want to finish at 3. maybe, okay, maybe I'll leave it to Alice in terms of like, because we could, if we wanted, maybe look at that that particular words a little bit more in depth, or I don't know if we're actually moving on to other things because we're going to be starting up class again with Professor Bryant. So I'll let Alice chat about that quickly.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess, are you referring to whether we should do another get together and talk about that?
Yeah, I was
Or is
wondering,
my-
I'm sorry, I kind of put that in there as a potential thing, but I think we also had a plan for what's happening with the next call. So that's why I just realized.
Yeah,
because
we were going to
Professor
wait for the
Bryant's-
next call.
Okay.
We were going to wait and do our first next group call on the 21st of September and move straight into going through Goldman again. But, you know, let's just see. Yeah, we can. I mean, the thing is, when we do those calls, we're gonna increase them to an hour and a half. So there's going to be a half an hour at the end, which is going to be optional to chat. So we can cover this kind of thing in that half an hour, I think, as well as breakout rooms. That would be my initial thought, but you know, we're totally open to what everyone, you know, so we do like an hour where we look at the chapter that we're doing in Goldman, and we'll do an exercise. This is our thinking briefly, and then we have a half an hour which people can stay or not, and we can chat like this, and we can, you know, sound things out together, maybe relating to the course that we're going to start with Professor Bryant. I can see people nodding, so
Okay,
yeah.
I'm gonna break us out because we don't have
Okay.
much time. So let's say hi to each other in small groups and then
Yeah,
finish up.
cool.